There's recently been some pretty interesting developments as it pertains to the future of both Madden games and the college football video games. This is something that was announced by EA recently, and in the recent weeks we've even gotten a little bit more info on this and have even seen kind of some mock-ups and even potentially a leak of how it could incorporate into Madden not that long ago. Now, depending on the type of gamer you are, you might consider this good or bad news. It really depends on how you like to engage with these games. At the end of the day, I do like to see when companies are doing more with their games or adding different ways to play them, but again, depending on how you like to engage with games, it'll be good news or bad news to you depending on the type of modes that you play. Now, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the news surrounding Madden, college football, and even future 2K games, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you never miss any of these videos when they go live. So recently, EA did announce that they are going to be bringing open world to their video games. Now, they have shown it in their soccer game FC recently, but they also did mention that this same type of thing was going to be coming to their American football games as well, which would be Madden and EA Sports College Football. Now, here's a quick clip of the announcement of this recently where you're going to see some mock-ups of what it looks like in FIFA, but they did also say this is coming to the American games as well, so check it out.
The building blocks of fandom for younger generations are in creation, expression, and social connection. To capture this, our teams are hard at work on a couple of new projects. They're building unique new experiences, virtual open world playground spaces where you, your friends, and the fan community can come together to experience avatar-based collective play, both competitive and casual. Now, we're talking about two distinctly different experiences for FC and our American football franchises. And while we're not ready to share more just yet, we're incredibly excited to introduce these new experiences into our ecosystems in the years ahead.
Now, right off the bat, depending on the type of player you are, like I said earlier, you're going to think this is great news or you're going to think it's horrible news. If you're more of the franchise offline guy, you don't care about this, you're probably looking at this as, hey, this could be a money grab or it's going to take resources away from the mode I like. But if you are a superstar mode or a road to glory type of guy, or you like to play online head-to-head, you may be more interested in something like this. Now, we've obviously seen this done in 2K over the years, and it's been a really big hit in that game. In the early days, it was definitely more celebrated. People liked it more, but it seems like in the last 5 years, people have kind of grown tired of it, and it's just become way too monetized. Now, how EA is going to implement this, we don't know yet, but we do have a little bit of a mock-up that was kind of leaked recently that we will go over in a minute, so make sure to stick around. But my whole thought process on this is I've never really loved it in 2K personally because I think it's just too much of an open world, and they've kind of created it in a way that it made the game less fun in my opinion. They made it way too microtransaction heavy, they made the city way too big, and they made it a pain to travel around, and I also didn't like the way that you had to wait to get into online head-to-head games. You couldn't just jump into a game, you had to actually wait for other games to finish and watch them happen and then get to play next. I think if EA can learn from where 2K went wrong with their open world, then it would be a welcome thing in their football games. And I think this could actually work better in college than it would in Madden, but this is still something interesting that we're going to see coming soon. Now, we have further proof of this because recently Mike Straw, who is a reporter, did tweet that EA is hiring a new director to work on an exciting American football project who has experience with MMOs. This is likely for a neighborhood-like feature that EA is keen on building for the franchise, similar to that of NBA 2K. Now, something else that's interesting here is there's been a debate whether this could be a brand new game entirely or if it's something that's going to implement into their already existing football games. Now, one thing I do know for sure is recently I heard that EA was working on a new sports title, but that's all I know. I don't know what sport it is. I have no clue if it's simulation or arcade. I have no clue, but I know that they're working on a new sports title. And one of the sources I talked to pretty much told me when it eventually comes out, you'll know what it is. So it's obviously something big, like it would be a new baseball game, for example, or it would be an NBA Street. It would be something that is so big that once it came out, you would be like, okay, that's what they were working on. It wouldn't be something small or something that's like a side project, right? So I do know that there is some type of new sports game they're working on that is, likely a couple years away from now. We don't know what it is, but we also know that they are now hiring somebody for American football who has experience in MMOs. So either they're making an entirely new football game, maybe like a new NFL Street, a modern NFL Street that is similar to NBA 2K's City open world park, or they're hiring this person to bring this to Madden and potentially college football, and the other game they're working on is just something completely separate. I don't know, but I just thought that was an interesting coincidence. Now, really quickly before we continue, I do want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog. They've been a huge supporter of the channel, and if you like sports and you like winning money, then you've got to be on Underdog playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on a wide variety of player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. But the thing that I love most about Underdog is they give you free plays when you sign up and free money to start with. So for example, if you want to sign up for Thursday Night Football, they're going to give you Brock Purdy to get a single yard. That means all he has to do is pass for 1 yard, and that's it, you win. If you want to wait for Sunday's NFL games, they're going to give you Jordan Love to get a single yard. Or for Monday Night Football, they're going to give you Kirk Cousins to get a single yard. And no matter when you sign up, even if it's weeks from now, there's going to always be a free play just like this for you to take advantage of. And if you use my code RAY, R-A-Y, they'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash at sign up, and you just simply can't beat that. Now that we know that EA is bringing open world to not only their soccer games, but also their American football games, after that news came out, we got kind of a little bit of a leak of what this potentially could look like in a Madden game. So there's this YouTuber that goes by ThatMuttGamer2, and I've seen some of his videos over the past few months. I don't really know what to call him, if he's like a hacker or if that's the correct term, but he kind of can go into the files of the game. I think he does this through the PC version of the game, and he has some pretty interesting videos on his channel where he kind of shows you hidden details in the game that you wouldn't know are there, things that you really couldn't quite see just by playing the regular game. He kind of can go through the files and find kind of the secret hidden things that are under the layers that you see. Well, what he discovered recently was that there's an actual mock-up of a park in the Madden 25 files, and he showed it on his YouTube channel. As you can see, this isn't like a finished version. This isn't what it's going to look like when it's in the game eventually, and that doesn't mean this is also going to be in Madden 25. It could just be something they're building in the background right now in Madden's code, but this is obviously not what it's going to look like as a finished product, but it kind of gives you an outline where you can see this is a pretty big city. You can see a football field. You can see many different buildings. You can see roads. Now, if you're familiar with NBA 2K and how their city is, you have different buildings where you can go buy gear for your players, or where you could go train your players, or you can do different drills or whatever the case may be. And then you've got different areas where you can play games versus other people. So what we're seeing here is that there is something in the Madden 25 files that looks like it's being built that resembles a city with football fields in it. So that's pretty interesting that this was just discovered shortly after EA actually announced this. And he even said in his video that this file was titled something like Madden EA Park or something to that extent. He then even went further to kind of show what this would look like at scale if it was actually in game. Now, again, this is not what it's going to look like when the game is out. This is not the correct textures or a finished product. This is just to kind of show you the scale of, if you were in the game as a player, kind of how big everything would look around you. So this is clearly something that is coming to Madden, and like I said earlier, I do think this would maybe even work better in Road to Glory, because I think with Road to Glory, you could create an actual campus, and that would be interesting. I think that would be something I would be more interested in, is if you have your Road to Glory character, you can actually have a campus where you can walk around and do some of these tasks, and then you can practice on fields, and then you can also have, your game day field and things like that. In Madden, I'm not sure exactly how it would work, but we know when it comes to Superstar mode and it comes to Road to Glory, EA does like to share a lot of the same things between those game modes, because it's meant to have you go from one game to the other game. So if they're going to put a city or a park inside of Madden eventually, they're probably going to do that for Road to Glory as well. Now, it's going to all come down to how they go about this. How monetized will it be? How tedious will it be to navigate the city? How easy will it be to get in and out of online games? All of those things are going to matter. If they do this the right way, or if they do it more so how 2K did in the early days of the park, this could actually be a big hit, and I think would be good for the games. If other sports games are doing things like this, there's no reason that the football games shouldn't be on par with that. However, if they go about this like modern day 2K, which, let's be honest, it's EA, they're probably going to try to make a lot of money out of this thing, then it could be, maybe not the best idea. But regardless whether you think it's a good idea or not, this is definitely something that is coming probably within the next couple of years, and it's going to change the way we play Madden football, and I'm just kind of curious to see how this all plays out. Now, we did recently get some new leaks as it pertains to EA Sports College Football 26, and if you want to check that out, you can check this video out right here on the screen.